Well, it was 1978 when Palm Springs first experienced its first triple homicide in the affluent Las Palmas area. While studying that incident, NBC Palm Springs' Steve Sumrall has uncovered more details about the house where it occurred and explains it all in tonight's edition of Our Desert Past.
The house seen behind me has experienced a lot of drama since it was first constructed in 1961. In the late 1970s, it would see the downfall of a very wealthy socialite, and soon after was the site of Palm Springs' first triple homicide. In other words, if these walls can talk, they'd be screaming. George Nader is the most prominent name on the list of the house's previous owners.
No one's going to hurt you. If you behave yourself, you're going to be all right.
The former B-movie actor moved into the house in 1991, along with his life partner, Mark Miller. Miller was the personal secretary to Rock Hudson, who regarded Miller and Nader to be members of his extended family. Hudson would will the couple the interest from his $27 million estate following his death from AIDS complications in 1985. Nader would occupy the house until his death in 2002. Miller would pass away in 2015. But even before George Nader purchased the house, it had a troubling history. During the mid-1970s, this house was occupied by Greg Sherwood, a former pinup girl and actress who happened to be the widow of Horace Dodge Jr., an heir to the Dodge Motor Company family fortune. After making the statement, "I can't afford this woman," Horace Dodge would initiate divorce proceedings. Unfortunately, the divorce was not yet finalized when Dodge passed away in 1963. So Greg Sherwood would not only inherit $11 million, she would gain an additional $9 million from suing her former mother-in-law. Sherwood would marry her bodyguard, a former police officer, and the two would lose every dollar due to their extravagant lifestyle. Sherwood would file for bankruptcy, but not before pleading guilty to embezzling from her son's trust fund. She would leave this house in Palm Springs' wealthy Las Palmas neighborhood in 1977, and 1 year later, this house would gain notoriety for something truly terrifying.
Pool man had showed up on a Monday or Tuesday or what have you, and as he went through the driveway carport area heading for the backyard, he passed right by the kitchen, looked in and saw Mrs. Williams on the floor, surrounded by a lot of blood.
That's retired Palm Springs police detective Fred Donnell, who, in an interview from 2014, recalls the events of October 13, 1978. Mrs. Williams was the maid.
And the patrol officers went inside and discovered two other bodies.
And those were the bodies of Sophia Friendly and her realtor husband, Edward Friendly. The couple had recently relocated from San Francisco. From the standpoint of the investigators, the murders looked professional, all shots to the head. Mrs. Friendly lying in the hallway, having been shot from behind as she fled. Mr. Friendly sprawled across a chair in his study. And the family maid, Frances Williams, disfigured in a pool of blood in the kitchen. The investigation led to a trust fund that Sophia Friendly was expected to inherit when her first husband would pass away. But if Sophia were to pass on first, the $1 million fortune would go to her two children. At the time that Sophia Friendly was murdered, her ex-husband was on his deathbed with terminal cancer. Sophia's son, Ed Hutton, was a likely suspect, along with one of his friends, a man named Andreas Christensen, who had returned to his home in Denmark. The Palm Springs police labeled Christensen a person of interest and attempted to track him down, which they did when he robbed a bank in Copenhagen. Investigators flew there to interview him.
The entire interview was just a cat and mouse game. We'd ask him where he was at a certain time, and he would tell us, and we would counter with information that would prove that he couldn't have been there at the time.
And Christensen's claim that he was only in Palm Springs for the purpose of going on a date with the daughter of a famous actor was easily disproven.
A simple matter of contacting Robert Stack and saying, "Hey, I know it's a tough question, but 3 years ago, did you recall somebody coming up and talking to your wife about your daughter?" Guy from Denmark. And of course his response was, "Anybody with a Scandinavian accent spoke to my wife. She's Scandinavian. She would remember." And of course she didn't.
Investigators had held the belief that Christensen had been hired by Sophia Friendly's son to kill her, but unfortunately, All their evidence was circumstantial, and the majority of witnesses had scattered all over the globe, so the case never moved forward.
I'd love to see it come to a conclusion. And I'm pretty confident that it will. Something will happen.
Until then, the murders of Ed Friendly, Sophia Friendly, and Francis Williams will remain an unsolved part of our desert past. Steve Sumrall, NBC Palm Springs, News First.